This is a CitiCar. It is a fully street legal, fully functional vehicle that was built in the 70s, and it was completely electric. It was intended to be somewhat of like a network neighborhood vehicle. The original creator of this car, Bob Beaumont, he wanted a car that you could drive around in a neighborhood, maybe to and from the grocery store, and if you needed a long distance car, then maybe you would have a second car that was gas. He was trying to be green and a little bit cheap, because electric is kind of cheap. So these little cars started to earn a little bit of popularity in the 70s. They was really cool. They was tiny and efficient, and you could go to and from the grocery store and ride them legally on the road. Now they're very tiny. They kind of remind me of a Steve Urkel car, but they're very cool and very fun to drive. This is actually my second CitiCar. I picked this up today. I have a 1976 that's sitting in my garage, and it does not have a body. The body is so bad, it just basically crumbled. The cars were built out of ABS plastic, which seemed great at the time, but over the years the sun just kind of deteriorated them and they kind of crumbled. Honestly, the only reason this car is still around is the owner told me it's set in storage for about 30 years. It has about 12,000 miles on the odometer, which may not seem like a lot, but for these little electric city cars, it kind of is. The one in the garage that I have has 9,000 miles on it, and I thought that was a lot of miles. The car is complete. Everything works on it. The few things that it is missing on the outside, some of the badges and things are inside it. I think it is missing a mirror, but I have some mirrors. My intentions are to restore these two cars. I really want to make one good car out of the two. If I can do that, you'll see a very happy YouTuber. I've always had a fascination with these cars, but the problem is they only made about 2,300 of them, and they're getting kind of rare. They just fell apart on people. The bodies did not hold up. The undercarriage is awesome. It's actually aluminum. It's a tube frame. It looks kind of like a big roll cage if you could pull the body off. They're pretty cool, and they are built very well with the exception of the plastic body. Now, some of them had curtain windows, some of them had plastic slider windows like these. I actually like these better. Some of them had funny doorknobs, some of them had more of a real doorknob like this model. This is actually my favorite model. I really like this particular year of the CitiCar. They just kind of made it more like a car, at least as much as they could. Now, taking a look at the inside, you can see that it is a luxury car of the finest design in the 70s. Actually, it's just a bunch of plastic. It's pretty cool, though. You can look at the dash. It's just got some basically rocker switches and knobs that control very little. I mean, you literally only have a forward, a reverse, and you know your key is just a power on button. There is some wipers and turn signals, and there's a heater knob and a defrost knob and a fan knob, which is kind of cool. It actually pulls the heat from around the motor itself. See, the motor gets warm, and it has a duct type system that blows air through the motor cowling and then puts it back in the car. So you get a little smell of ozone and you stay warm. It's kind of neat. And then this bladder bag on the bottom, this is kind of an old car thing. There actually should be a little rubber pump here that you shove your foot against, and it'll flow this fluid, which would be your window washer fluid, out the little spout on the other side of the windshield. So you could get your window washed. It was just kind of a very primitive way. Obviously, you could update this if you wanted and do away with it, which we probably will when we restore this car. We're going to semi-modernize it a little bit, but it'll be really cool and really fun. You'll notice there's some fresh intake kind of ports on the side, and what that does is it draws fresh air into the car, so you can either divert it into the cabin and get fresh cool air, or there's some switches in the back, a little bit of magic here. They're basically flapper doors, and you can divert the cool air to go through that motor cowling, as I said earlier, and put warm air into the car, or you can flip it the other direction and get nice fresh air into the car. So a pretty luxury feature for one of these little electric cars. And then over here, there's no real motor controller. So basically these are contact towers, aka relays. And as you press the accelerator pedal down, it reconfigures the voltage going to the motor. So it starts out at 12 volts and 24 volts and 48 volts. And that's how you get your different speeds. It's not really a smooth kind of vehicle. It's more clunky than anything. But you know, in 1975, to have a fully runnable, drivable electric car, it was kind of cool. And it worked. Now, under the seat is where all of the batteries are stored. This particular model is 48 volts. They actually had a 36 volt model early on. Later, they gave it 48 volts, which gave it a little more top end. These cars really don't run that fast. They basically run about 35 or 40 mile an hour, and that's on a good day with the wind on your back. Now, there are things you can do to speed that up to make them run a little bit quicker, but quite honestly, once you start reaching the higher speeds, it becomes kind of scary. The car just isn't designed to go that fast. These batteries are just 6 volts. 6-volt golf cart batteries. There's 8 of them. Each of them are 6 volt apiece, and there is an onboard charger to this car, so you didn't have to bring your own charger. You just plugged the car in and it charged itself. That charger is underneath the dash right there. So because it's electric and not gas, your fill-up port is just kind of an outlet out here. It just kind of hangs outside the car. Bring your own extension cord, plug it in, and that charges the batteries up. Pretty simple. So your total range on a car with today's batteries is more like 40 plus miles, maybe a little more if you baby it and have really good batteries. And that's if you don't put something really good in like lithium. And your realistic top speed is, 35, 40 mile an hour, but you could very easily make these go a little bit quicker with some slight modifications. It's a pretty cool car to have. And again, it's 100% street legal. So I'm sure in some of my upcoming videos, and it'll be a while before I actually start working on this particular car, but I will do a little restoration. We'll do some videos of some of the cool things we're going to do to it, and we'll kind of combine both cars, the other one that's in the shop right now, and make a really good, drivable, reliable running city car. And I just think it's a really cool, fun little project. So take a look at some of my other videos. You might be entertained. Don't forget to like and subscribe.